Lucid. We've not looked at Lucid for a very long time, but we're going to be doing it here. We're going to be having a look at the chart with Lcid, and we're also going to be having a look at what's going on a base fundamental level. So as always, when we do these videos, it's more of an update than a deep analysis, just looking at some of the latest news as well as the price action and where we could anticipate going in the future. So if it does sound like a good video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe. If enough of you guys do that, I will know that you enjoy it and I can produce more of these videos on Lcid, looking at the stock more often. But do remember, this is only my opinion and it is not financial advice, it's just my personal thoughts. So we're going to be diving in, and first I'm going to look at the news with you guys, then we'll get onto the charts. So what we're looking at first is going to be the earnings for this one going into the future. So I'm expecting earnings to not be too bad. I mean, the estimations that we have from where we have a look on the WSJ, we're seeing these are actually improving over time. So the estimate for 3 months ago was a little bit worse than it is right now. At current, only about 1 cent difference, but yeah, it is a little bit of a change and it is worth mentioning. Now, quickly going off the financials that we have seen before, we had last quarter where the EPS was missed and the revenue was actually missed as well. So I'm not expecting the strongest results here, but as I have said before, with this stock, I think with a company where it is right now, trying to get off the ground, I don't think this is a most important thing. However, will it have an impact? Possibly, but I personally am not looking out for it. You guys may have a different strategy, but that's just one thing that in this instance, from a fundamental basis, I am not too bothered about. Now, we want to talk about the 19th of this month coming up, and this is speaking about a catalyst, which we do have. So we're going to have a look at what this is. And when we do have a quick read of this article from Investor Place, we'll read the first paragraph. It says, as 2022 winds to a close, the electric vehicle sector has already seen a fair share of turbulence. We can see, if we just quickly go through this one, a lot of momentum. We had a Tesla, which actually reported better than expected delivery results for the final quarter. However, since then, several stocks in the sector have been falling. The list of market losers today include names such as Rivian, Fisker, and Lucid Motors as well. So all of these were losing on the day, but of course that is when this was published. Coming down a bit lower, what's happening with Lcid stock? The first thing is, right now Lcid stock is performing well, especially compared to some of its EV peers. It's risen almost 5% today so far, and even with yesterday's decline, it's still up by 0.63% in the week, and of course that was at the time of writing this article. Whilst it's down for the month, the stock's gains for the past 6 are still impressive, topping 50%. Lucid is clearly a beneficiary of the 2021 EV boom. And going back to that point that I made just a few minutes ago on the earnings, I think that's why I'm not too bothered about it. I think when we have the whole EV sector, and I think people are looking more to speculate here than they are looking for results right now. So in my opinion, I don't think those potentially negative results will come out too detrimental for this company. Again, that's just my opinion. You may disagree or agree. That is up to you. I'm just giving you my approach. And so now on to what we're looking at for the road ahead. In late December, users began to speculate about an important date for Lucid stockholders, the end of the company's lockup period. Whilst the topic didn't pick up much traction on social media, it's certainly worth mentioning because this is, as one user pointed out, on the 19th of January, of course, of this year. And it will mark the end of the lockup period, enabling early investors to offload Lcid stock shares. A quick look into the company's filings with the SEC confirmed that on Twitter the discussion was correct. According to this section, we can see the lockup period ends on this date at 11:59 Eastern Time. So what are we going to be expecting for this one, and why does it matter? Well, it is listed down here. There's types of lockup provisions are common for such companies as Lucid, as they opted to make their public debut in a way of special purpose acquisition, which is also a SPAC. And while Lucid stock recent performance has been good, some early investors will likely take the opportunity to offload shares, particularly as slower growth has been predicted for the EV sector into this year. This isn't great news for Lucid, as investors pulling out will likely drive down the share price. Indeed, we've seen this before when the company's first lockup period ended in early September of the previous year and the shares fell almost by 11%. With that in mind, it quickly was to rebound, and the company has several exciting catalysts approaching that have helped drive momentum back up. There's still plenty of uncertainty facing the markets in 2022, but investors have good reason, or at least reason, to regard Lucid through the lens of optimism. One Citigroup analyst recently issued a 57 one-year price target on the stock, with the company also eyeing on a European expansion. And that perfectly draws us into our second point, but I did think this is worth noting with you guys because, yeah, with that lockup period ending, will people be selling their shares, and will that go on to affect the stock? I want to hear what you have to say in the comments on that one. Again, I think that is more of an important issue than the earnings, and I think that could go on to have a short-term effect. I think more long-term, it doesn't really matter too much, but I think in the short term, yes, it probably will have a little bit of an effect on the stock, not necessarily because it means bad for the fundamentals, but more because it means that obviously with the supply and demand changing, a lot of people selling, it is inevitably going to drive the price down. Anyway, coming on to our second piece of news that we do have for you guys, we're talking about the European expansion. This is another article coming from Yahoo Finance, and it is titled about how the stock is coming down despite the plans for this expansion. Well, it's gone back up ever since, but I think we're just going to quickly talk about this. So, Lucid announced via Twitter, expansion to European markets will begin this year. Stay tuned for country-specific delivery information, and no further details were released at the time. This alone is huge, and it is important, because if we think about it, the Lucid cars are only available in certain places at the moment, and an expansion to Europe will be big. The EV market in Europe is quite big, especially in some specific countries, so I think where they're going to place their vehicles should be strategically done. Again, we don't really have the details on that right now, but some countries in Europe, perhaps countries like Denmark, who adopt a lot of EVs, that would be a good place to start, in my opinion. But I do think, that is up to the company, but I do not think an expansion into Europe is going to be a bad thing at all. Now we're going to come on to where we're looking at the price, and we can see a few things are becoming apparent on the 1 day chart. So all of these candlesticks are equal to 1 day, and we can see the trend over the past few months. Now we're starting to find a bottom for the stock, which appears to be about 36.50. We've seen that bottom hold up many times. We've seen it hold up here. We've seen it hold up more recently around here. So yeah, it's been a very nice level that we can find the bottom at. Hopefully it does remain to be the case into the next week. We don't want to start dropping any lower. Of course, if we see a few wicks to the downside like what we saw here, where we hit a wick down at 33.88, that's not too bad, as it is also a previous level of support back here. But yeah, wicks are fine. We don't want to see the candlesticks break below this trend. And as far as breakouts are concerned, we were initially looking to get above 40.90. I think it is possible that we could see a pullback to this level or slightly below into next week, especially considering that the Friday was a gain of just under 10%. So a small pullback is possible. Again, from there, we're looking to consolidate, push up above this level again. And if we do not actually start to have that difficulty there, we're going to be looking to push obviously above the high of the day, which is at 43.28. And then above there, we're looking to get above these levels where we have had difficulty at 44.66. So the levels where we've had difficulty here is going to be around here, and also here, and also here. We're not able to break above that point, or at least we haven't been recently. So they are the key levels that I'm looking for, both to the upside and the downside. Like I said at the beginning, it's not been the biggest video, it's not been the most detailed, but I'm trying to give you guys the basic things that I see as quite important coming up in the near future. So tell me your opinions down below. I do want to hear all that you guys have to say, and I will try and get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you. See you soon. Thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen, you will be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously, it is split into multiple sections. Basically, at the top, we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further, we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs, and other hot stocks, including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well. And we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down, you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes, and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that, guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching, see you soon.